My name is Morgan Rogers and I'm from Hamlin High School. I'm a dual credit student and I'm here to discuss Ben Jonson's On My First Son poem. Our first question is to describe the dramatic situation of the poem, and our group had basically the same answer, and that was that Ben Jonson's 7-year-old son had died. And the poem just describes the different emotions he felt and how his son brought joy, but that's not even comparable to the amount of sorrow he felt after his son died. And one person had stated that the dramatic situation was that he blames himself for his son's death, and she'll explain that in the next question, what she thought about that. Question 2 was to describe what problem is raised in the first 2 lines and then explain how it's resolved. And the person who thought that, Carly, who thought that he blamed himself for his son's death, talks about how he felt guilty because he put poetry before his son, and that's why he felt all that guilt, and he blamed himself was because he put poetry before his son, and he spent so much time with poetry when he could have spent it with his son. And I thought that was a great answer, and I didn't really think about that when I read the poem, but I can see that now that she said that. And then our second answer was that the grief he felt was resolved with envy of not having to deal with the battles of the world. And I put that, and Justin also had put that, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory that, he was just happy that he was feeling all this sorrow, but then he felt happy and he kind of looked to the bright side of the situation, that his son didn't have to deal with all these problems. And then Benjamin kind of mixed the two answers and said that he did feel this guilt and he blamed himself, but he resolved that because he looked to the bright side and saw that his son wasn't having to deal with the battles of the world. And so we did very well on that question. And then number 3 is what kind of paradox is involved in that resolution and how does it inform the theme. And everyone in our group came up with the basic theme that Ben Jonson was trying to say, that we should not love worldly things because they will just leave this earth, and that void will be filled with sorrow. And but then we kind of how we resolved that, or the paradox in that in the theme, was different for different people. And one person stated that he told us not to love worldly things, yet he still turned to poetry. So that was a paradox because he was turning to a worldly thing. And then he tells us not to love worldly things, yet he still loves his son, and that's a worldly thing. And so that was the paradox, another paradox that several of us put. And so there were several different ways we said that there was a paradox, but we all came up with the same basic theme, that Ben Jonson was trying to say that we should not love worldly things. And that is it for this discussion board. I hope y'all have a great day.